I've got a big box here which I'm going to open, so stick around if you want to see what's inside it. So you may have noticed that I have a box here, and I'm going to go through an unboxing. Hardly surprising. I've got my DSLR up in the top left hand screen so you can have a little look at me while I'm talking, but I've got another webcam focused on this box. So let's have a look first of all before I go opening it up, and we'll see roughly what's going to be inside of it. So a few weeks back I seen a listing on eBay, and honestly when I seen the listing I thought it was probably a scam and someone was possibly following me about for the last 2 years thinking, what's the best possible way we could scam this guy? We can find a whole load of books that he would love to buy as a job lot, and then we'll pretend that they're for sale. I honestly thought that. It was just too good to be true. So this is the sale. And is this how much I paid for it? Well, yeah, I did pay this much for it, but I think it's worth every penny of it. And we'll go through each of the books and I'll show you the books that I've purchased, but there's a little bit of history as well, because obviously it says it's Calculus of Variations Library of Hans Sagan in 19 volumes. So let's have a little look and I'll show you. Hans Sagan was a professor of mathematics and he wrote this book here, so I'll actually bring this screen back up so you can see it a bit better. So he wrote this book here, Introduction to the Calculus of Variations by Hans Sagan. Now it's about 400 pages long, this book, so it's quite detailed. I've used little sections of it here and there, but not all of it. Obviously there's lots of stuff in there I haven't gone through, but I'll always have time in the future to work through the sections that I've missed out. So I've enjoyed parts of this book for the parts that I've worked through, and you can get it online for under $10. But I have tended really to use this book here. So this is the book that I've created 2 Calculus of Variations courses, and I've got a third one on the go at the moment, and I've really worked it through partly through this book here, but with little bits of this Hans Sagan book as well. So I was quite excited when I seen this sale, and I'll show you the full listing here, and I'll bring it up. So let's take this off and we'll go back to here. So this is the full listing here. So it's 19 volume set. So 17 volumes are signed by Hans Sagan, and there's another 2 volumes here that aren't shown in the drawings, which I'll go through in a minute. And there's a little bit of gumph here. So Dr. Sagan became a professor of mathematics at North Carolina State University, 1963. Prior to that, he spent 6 years at the University of Idaho, where he served the last 2 years as head of the Department of Mathematics. So you can always pause the rest of this if you're interested in it, and you can have a little read about who Hans Sagan was. So these are the books that are on this list, and there was 4 books in particular that I was intending to buy, but they were just too expensive. So the books that I was really interested in, if I can find them here, are the last 2. So I was interested in these partial differential equations of the first order, volume 1 and 2. Okay, so that's by Cara Theodori, and I couldn't find it. They sold it as they actually sell it online as the 2 volume as one, but this, what we have here, are the original separated 2 volumes. So I was looking for these 2 books, and also I was looking for a history of the Calculus of Variations by Goldstein, so that's number 17. Again, this was about £60–70 just for this single book, so it was quite expensive. And plus in here we've got the hardcover version of the original. And the other one I was interested in, if I can find it, Dynamic Calculus Variations, Control Theory, Hermes, Electrodox, Calculus Various Sagan. There was another one here that I had seen. It was the Forsyth book, that's what it was. There's a book here by Forsyth. I can't quite pick it out here at the moment, but again, it was about £60–70, and in effect, the guy who wrote this book here, the Charles Fox book, he's got a lot of references to the Forsyth book, and I was wanting to buy that in order to go through some of the more advanced derivations that you don't have in this book. But again, he's a Scottish mathematician, and it was an older book from the I think it was the 1930s or so. The book was first published, but I've got that in here as well, so I'm very pleased. So just to have those 4 books, and I reckon potentially those 4 books, the hardbacks, those books by themselves were possibly worth at least the value of the that I paid for the entire 19 volumes here. So I'm going to open this up. I've been rattling on for too long. I've got the scissors here, and I'll just go ahead. So I'll start this unboxing, and I'll probably end up just fast forwarding it, making it go a little bit quicker. Whew. Well, that was a bit of work to unbox that. So let's get started with this. We're actually down at the calculus of variations. Sorry, the partial differential equations by Cara Theodori. So that's the top 2 books. A little thank you note as well. So thank you. So these are the Cara Theodori books, volume 1. And the volume 2. Of course, they're not in perfect condition because they have been used, and they were used obviously by this Professor Sagan in order to create his book on the calculus of variations. So I am actually very pleased at finding these 2 in the separate volume. So a bit difficult for you to see them here, and I will work through, when I've worked through some of them, I'll go through possibly some reviews, but they're actually surprisingly good condition. Surprisingly good condition actually, because they look a little bit naff up in the corner, but whenever you actually get in and have a look at them, they're looking actually quite good. So that's 2 of the books. Again, this is just like a kind of cursory look over them. So that's the Cara Theodori books. Very pleased at finding those, especially in the 2 volumes. So I'll pop that down. I've got a space for them up in my library as well, so I'll place them up there later today. And again, they're all the hardback original editions, which tend to be quite expensive. Here's another one, Clegg, Calculus of Variations. Again, looks like a nice little book. Looks in nice condition, nice order throughout. I'm actually surprised that from the photograph I'd seen of the original, it looked like they were maybe a little bit damaged. You could see up here they didn't look that perfect, but actually inside they actually look rather good. And you see they're all signed by Carl Sagan, just to actually let everybody know that that's his book. Okay, so that's a nice little touch. So let's work through some here. Get more here. What we got? Another Calculus of Variation by Elsgolk. Again, I've not really. I've got a list of these books, and I actually went through and I went online, and I worked out that if I was to find all of the books in the hardback condition here, that we have and buy them separately, I think it would have cost me potentially over £500–600, and that was a very conservative estimate. Some of the books were sitting up at over £100, and those books I just put at a nominal value of worth of £40, so they are actually worth possibly more. So very pleased, and again, it's they're all signed by Carl Sagan. So that's one other one. And now this is an interesting one because this is the actual. I've actually got this one. So this is the edition that I've actually got. It cost me about £5. So $7 or $8. So this is the his original hardback edition, and the irony is that this is the only one that isn't actually signed by him. So he hasn't bothered to sign his own book, which is a bit sad because it would have been nice if this one here had also been signed. But it doesn't matter. It's the original hardback edition. I'm very, very pleased to have it. Let's see, this is the one really I will be starting actually, well, right away. I'll start cracking on with this one tonight, and there we have it. The history of the calculus of variations from the 17th through to the 19th century. So this is the one that I was really interested in. One of them I was really interested in getting, and there's some interesting sections here. It's actually a review. I think it's actually a review of it by Hans Sagan, which I'll have a little read of. So very pleased. There's actually here we go. There's actually I'll be careful about what pages they're in, but it looks like he's got his original post-it notes that he's used in order to make notes of certain bits of information at certain points in this book, and presumably he's used those areas within this other book which he's then gone and produced. So that's fascinating. So I'll be able to go through and have a look, and there's quite a few. There's quite a few of these original notes which he has made. So that's brilliant. That's really brilliant, and I love the fact that they're actually used, and they'll continue to be used. They won't just sit up on a bookshelf gathering dust. I will use them. Although there are some that are bonus, they're just a bonus, and I don't know whether I will go through them anytime soon, but I certainly will spend a bit of time leafing through them. So here's another one, Control Theory and the Calculus of Variation by Balkrishnan. Okay, so again, some of these books I don't really know very much about, but I'll be interested to have a look through them. Loads to go. Here's another one, Pars, a Calculus of Variation by Pars. Okay, and it's nice that I'll be able to keep this library of books together, and if I ever decide to sell, which I just won't, but if I'm no longer in this on the earth and my kids decide to sell them, which I wouldn't be surprised, not because they're nasty, just because, well, I don't know, they might not be interested in mathematics, who knows, but if they ever decide to sell them, it would be nice if they sold them as a job lot, and they stayed together, because they've got some, what's the word, provenance or some history. So here's another one, Calculus of Variations and Optimal Control Theory. So a lot of this would have been at the kind of junction between historical calculus of variations and modern optimal control theory, which is quite good. It's good to see the information at that point. What have we got here? And I'll let you read it. International Series in Pure and Applied Mathematics, Calculus of Variations. I've no idea, as I say, what's in some of these books, but they're actually in really good condition inside. I thought they weren't going to be as good condition, but they're pretty pristine inside. Very good, very good. Let's have a look and see what we got here. I think this one will be a good one as well, actually. Differential geometry and the calculus of variations. So I had a little look at that online. I've actually had a look at all of them, just to have a quick cursory look online whenever reviews of each of them. And there's some of them I wasn't actually able to find online. So again, in excellent condition. So let's dig a bit deeper. What we got here? Oh, you can't even see it. I can hardly see this. Can you? There you go. Lectures on the calculus of variation and optimal control theory. Okay, so very good. Again, see the top. When I seen the top of them here, I thought maybe they might be quite badly damaged inside, but it's only just that top area. Actually, inside of them, they're actually in really good condition. Really good condition. So that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Okay, and 1971. There's actually reviews I've noted here as well in some of the books. He has actually sellotaped in some reviews into the front of the books. Look, which is quite interesting. And of course, again, it's signed at the top here. You can't quite see it at the top. He's got it signed here, Hans Sagan. And let's get rid of this. So quite a set of books, I think, for what is £180 or $250, and they're all, or most of them, I think they're all like the hardback versions. Calculus of Variations of George Ewing with applications. Again, you can get some of these online for really quite cheap, but the hardback original versions are expensive to buy. And this is a lovely quality paper as well, really nice quality, and yeah, very good, very pleased. See, this is another one I mentioned that I was interested in. So I was interested in this by Forsyth, and again I could get this for about £30–40, and this is in effect it's like a continuation of the Forsyth book. So there's a lot of derivations that are mentioned in the Forsyth book that he hasn't actually gone through the derivations, and he's just quoted the Fox book. He's just quoted the Forsyth book. So I'm going to be able to work through some of those derivations which I was interested in. So good. So just simply for those 4 books, the Calculus of Variation by Forsyth, the 2 differential equations ones by Cara Theodori, and the other one that I was interested in, the history of the Calculus of Variations. Those 4 for me were worth the entire purchase. Everything else is a massive bonus. I'll look at this one as well. Look. Calculus of Variations by Bliss. So that'll have I've seen that one online quite a few times, and I was going to buy it previously, but so again, that's a hardback, original hardback version, which the hardback versions, they go for 3–4 times as much as the non-hardback. And this is a paper. I couldn't actually find this one online. It's just like a small book. Professor Cicala, Engineering Approach to the Calculus of Variations. So that'll be interesting. And it's really quite old, because you can see the kind of type script that's used. Okay. So, 3 more to go. Okay, so not long. And of course, I've got this one here, the Gelfand and Foreman. I've actually got the soft copy version of that. I've got that in my library here, so in effect it's a second copy I've got here, but obviously again it's a hardback original edition, so Pop that there, and 2 more to go. What we got? I've never seen this one before either, so I'll have a look. Calculus of Variations by Heiser. Okay. Again, looking at it. Yeah, good. It's good condition, good decent quality book. And finally, here we go. No idea really what this is about, but I'll have a look at some point. There we go. Dynamic Programming and the Calculus of Variations. United States Air Force Project RAND. Fascinating. So I'll have some time for that. So there's an awful lot of stuff in here. And there's my final little receipt with a thank you. £249.85. Okay, so I'll hide that from you. I don't know if there's anything there that I should be showing, but that's the entire box. That's me got everything, and I am very, 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 very pleased at this purchase. And as I say, the Calculus of Variations is my favourite mathematical subject, and the one that I potentially know most about, and it's a subject that I enjoy. I enjoy actually the historical aspect of it, and I enjoy the fact that it can be applied so broadly to so many different areas of applied mathematics and physics. Now, I don't know very much about the extension of it onto the area of optimal control, but that's probably something, or possibly something, I might have a look at in the future. But this then is my job lot of my Calculus of Variations books, and I'm going to have an enjoyable time reading over and learning from these books over the next 20, 30 years, and they're all going to sit together in my library in the shelf up behind you. So somewhere in the top shelf I'll have them sitting up, and they'll remain up there for as long as I am breathing. And what happens to them after that, I don't know, but I hope whoever has them keeps them together. And also, if there's any member of the family of Hans Sagan out there, you can rest assured that this library of his books, which he used in order to produce this one here, will be cherished, loved, and well looked after, and most importantly, it will be used. Now, one other thing just to mention before I go, my wife did say to me that she thinks I'm probably the only guy that she knows that I hide my phone from her, not because I'm having an affair, but because I don't want her to know that I've bought any more books. And she thinks that's a little bit weird, and I think she would actually prefer if I was actually having an affair as opposed to having an affair with books. Thank you for listening. It's a long unboxing, but I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to know any other information about any of these books, then comment down below and I'll get back to you. Goodbye.